Hello and welcome to Abercross Junction Railway. On this video I show you how I create rust on my little diesel locos. Typically working locos in quarries, brick yards and the like around the land. They were never really pristine. The only time I've seen them pristine is when they've been in advertising leaflets and the like, and on preserve lines. Doesn't to say that they didn't exist, but I think mainly on the quarries and in their working environment they were pretty grubby, and the only time they got in any real maintenance is when they broke down, or they rusted away so much that they had to be rebuilt. On this particular video I'm using a white metal kit of a Ruston with an aluminium cab added, which I've made, and without further ado, let's get on with it. So here we have the paints. These are yellow ochre, burnt umber, ivory black, titanium white artist oils with an old lid off a curry, really, I suppose it was. Yes, I think it was a curry actually, and a couple of brushes, and these two locos. This is the Huddy Hunslet, which you probably saw in the promotion, and this is the Ruston, which has got a handmade cab in aluminium, and this is white metal body. As you can see from here, there's quite a bit of rust showing on there. Taking the dark colour first as a base on which to build the rust. Squeeze that little bit of burnt umber on the palette. As I said, maybe said earlier, this is an old lid from a curry, takeaway curry, but it's been used quite a bit. And take a little bit of yellow ochre, which is the next coat, next layer, put that alongside it, and titanium white and ivory black. Now ivory black goes first, and that will go here. Don't want very much, just a little bit, and a little bit of titanium white. Now keep the titanium white as far away from those colours as I possibly can, without to keep it fairly pure if I can. In this little pot here I have some distilled turpentine, which is useful, very useful. Right, taking the, actually I've got the wrong size brush there. Yes, better. Let's have the little one. This is a number 1, and this one is a number. The bigger one is a number 3. So taking the number 1, we're going to work along this seam here, which is pretty much rust will come along that seam where there's a weld and a bead, and where the vibration has set up the or taken the paint off it, it will set up the rust. So just need, you could be fairly liberal on there. You don't have to have it very small because you can work it. So the first layer goes on there, and it's quite thick. I'll just put a little bit more on there so it's built up. What I'm trying to create here is rust that is starting to flake, starting to build up. I've speeded up the video a little on this because it takes a lot of time to do what we're doing here, so you need to have a bit of patience. I'm using yellow ochre on top of the burnt umber to show fresh rust, and I will be lining that out with a black to give it depth. And you start to get, with the added layers, the flaking paint and the delaminating metal which is what rust does. It pushes the layers or forms layers and pushes the metal forward and pushing the paint off. So that's what we're trying to replicate here. And if you do make a mistake, it's not a problem. All you need to do is take some distilled turpentine. Because I'm using our artist oils here, the distilled turpentine is the best medium, and wash out the mistake. With the distilled turpentine loaded on the brush, I'm just dropping that into the paint and letting it run down the loco side. The loco is actually sitting at an angle because I'm laying the loco on my bench easel, which is elevated. Makes it a lot easier to work on. And as you can see, the paint is running down the side cheek of the sheet of the cab. There'll be a lot more of that later, and I'm adding on the seam along the bottom between the footplate and the actual cab side more rust, and also down the sides where the vibration would set up and cause it to break the paint away. Here I've dropped on neat turpentine and allowing the paint to run down the side cheek of the loco. I'm now concentrating on the joint between the roof and the side sheet of the cab. We're getting close to finishing the side sheet, of the loco now, and I'm starting to use the cotton bud to soften some of the paint layers and working my way around the window and putting some really large blisters of rust on that round window there. More rust has been painted around the engine housing and around the window. As you can see, it's really looking quite grotty now. Any comments you may have, I really appreciate seeing them and reading them. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And thank you for watching.